There's something most men never realize. A woman doesn't actually fall for the man who chases, begs, or bends over backwards for her. She falls for the man who could love her deeply, but is strong enough to walk away if she disrespects his value. That's the real power in relationships. And it's exactly what we're unpacking in this video. Welcome back to the channel. This is where men learn how to reclaim their confidence, understand female psychology, and stop being controlled by outdated dating advice that only weakens them. If you've ever wondered why women seem more attracted to the men who are least afraid of losing them, stick around, because once you understand this, you'll stop playing games and start living from a place of strength. Here's the controversial truth. Women want men who can walk away. It sounds harsh, even cold, but it's the opposite. It's about self-respect. When a man shows that he's not dependent on a woman's validation, her interest in him skyrockets. Why? Because confidence and independence are magnetic. A man who can walk away communicates without words. I'm whole with or without you. That is irresistible. Most guys mess this up. They confuse effort with desperation. They think the more available they are, the more she'll choose them. But women see through that instantly. A man who makes her his entire world becomes boring, predictable, and powerless. The man who can walk away, he becomes the challenge. He becomes the prize. So, in this video, I'm going to break down exactly why this mindset separates the weak from the strong, and how adopting it will completely shift the way women treat you. She tests you to see if you'll break one. She tests you to see if you'll break. Every man needs to understand this uncomfortable reality. Women test men. They don't always do it consciously, but it's built into female psychology. A woman will challenge you, push your buttons, pull away, or even create small conflicts just to see one thing. Will you stay centered, or will you crumble under pressure? This isn't about cruelty. It's about attraction. Women are wired to respect men who can hold their ground, not men who collapse the moment they feel tension. Think about it. If she never tested you, she would never truly know what kind of man she's dealing with. She wants to know if you're strong enough to lead, confident enough to stand on your own, and disciplined enough not to be controlled by her moods. When she gives you the cold shoulder, ignores your text, or throws out a sarcastic comment, she's watching how you respond. Do you get desperate, chase harder, beg for her approval, or do you remain calm, unfazed, and willing to walk away if she continues? The men who fail these tests reveal their weakness instantly. They show that their emotions are completely tied to her reactions. That's when she starts losing respect and attraction fades. The men who pass, on the other hand, don't even see it as a garma. They know their worth. They don't need her validation to feel secure. If she tests them, they don't lash out or beg. They simply stand tall, maybe even laugh, and keep moving forward with or without her. Here's the controversial part. Women are more attracted to men who show they can survive without them. It's not about being cold or distant. It's about strength. A man who can't handle tests will always live in fear of losing her. A man who can walk away will always keep her guessing, always keep her respecting him. When she tests you, she's really asking, are you strong enough to be my man? Your answer is not in your words. It's in your behavior. The moment you show you won't break, her respect grows. And respect is the foundation of lasting attraction. Neediness kills attraction every time too. Neediness kills attraction every time. One of the fastest ways to destroy a woman's attraction is through neediness. Men often confuse giving attention with building connection, but what most don't realize is that constant availability, constant validation seeking, and constant chasing actually suffocate attraction. Women don't respect men who can't stand on their own. They want to feel like they're choosing you, not like you're begging to be chosen. Neediness is not about how much you care for her. It's about how much of yourself you give up to keep her around. When a man abandons his own priorities, drops everything the second she calls, or reshapes his entire life just to keep her happy, he communicates one thing: you are more important than me. That imbalance kills desire, because women are drawn to men who have a sense of self, men who know they are the prize. Think about it this way. Have you ever noticed how women are more attracted to men who seem slightly out of reach? The man who is busy with his goals, focused on his mission, and not glued to his phone, waiting for her reply. He naturally becomes more attractive. He's not playing games. He simply values his life and his time. On the flip side, the man who instantly replies, constantly checks in, and tries to buy her love with endless attention becomes predictable, boring, and easy to control. That's when she starts pulling away. Neediness also creates insecurity. Women can feel when a man's entire emotional state depends on their affection. It's heavy. It's suffocating. Instead of feeling drawn to him, she feels pressured. And pressure never breeds attraction. It breeds escape. Here's what every man must understand. Attraction thrives in space. A woman wants to feel like she has to earn your attention, not that it's given no matter how she treats you. When you hold back from over-investing, when you continue to prioritize your purpose, your hobbies, your self-worth, you automatically project strength. That strength is what women crave. It's controversial because so many men have been told to always show her how much you care. But when care turns into need, attraction dies. The reality is simple. The man who doesn't need her earns her desire. The man who begs for her loveless is it. When you stop being needy, you stop chasing. When you stop chasing, you create space for her to come toward you. And once she's chasing you, the dynamic shifts. She's invested, she's engaged, and she's the one afraid of losing you. Walking away creates respect instantly. 3. Walking away creates respect instantly. Every man at some point has wondered why a woman suddenly started treating him differently after he stopped giving her attention. One day she's dismissive, short with her replies, acting like she's in control. Then you pull back, focus on your life. And almost overnight, she starts calling, texting, and wanting to see you again. What changed? You showed her that you were willing to walk away. Walking away is not about being manipulative. It's not a tactic you use to play games with women. It's a reflection of strength. It's the ability to say, I'm not going to stay in a situation where I'm not respected, valued, or appreciated. And the moment you demonstrate that, women's perception of you changes instantly. Why? Because respect and attraction are deeply connected. A woman might be attracted to your looks, your humor, or your lifestyle at first, but if she doesn't respect you, that attraction fades fast. And nothing earns respect quicker than showing you will not tolerate disrespect. When you walk away, you communicate that you have options, standards, and the courage to enforce them. Most men do the opposite. They stay in situations where they're mistreated, overlooked, or even disrespected because they're terrified of losing the woman. They think putting up with bad behavior will somehow convince her to love them more. But all it really does is make her lose faith in you as a man. If you can't stand up for yourself, how can you stand up for her, for your family, or for your life? Women are instinctively drawn to men who project strength. When you show that you're willing to leave rather than beg, it tells her that you are in control of yourself and your life. She doesn't have to guess whether you're a leader. Your actions prove it. And the moment she sees that, respect is triggered. Here's what's important. Walking away doesn't always mean permanently. Sometimes it's simply removing yourself from a toxic moment. Maybe she's being disrespectful in an argument. Maybe she's pulling away to test your confidence. Instead of chasing her down or escalating the fight, you step back. You let her feel your absence. And in that space, she realizes she's dealing with a man who cannot be controlled with drama or games. Respect is not given for free. It's earned. And for men, the fastest way to earn it is to demonstrate that you will not compromise your self-worth. Anyone, not even the woman you love. Walking away might feel risky, but it's actually the only way to shift the power back in your favor. Because once she respects you, everything else, attraction, desire, and commitment, naturally follows. Women chase men who don't chase them for. Women chase men who don't chase them. If you've ever been in a relationship where you gave a woman everything she wanted, constant attention, reassurance, and effort, only to watch her lose interest, you've experienced one of the hardest truths in dating. Women don't chase men who are always chasing them. They chase the men who give love but remain grounded. Men who don't make her the center of their entire world. Let me give you an example. Imagine a man named Daniel. He falls hard for a woman and immediately puts her on a pedestal. Every text is answered within seconds. Every free moment is dedicated to her. And every decision is made with her in mind. At first, she's flattered by his devotion. But over time, her excitement fades. Why? Because there's no mystery, no challenge, and no sense that Daniel values himself outside of her validation. He's predictable, he's safe, but he's no longer attractive. Now compare Danielle to another man. Let's call him Marcus. Marcus loves his girlfriend, but he's not glued to his phone. He has a life, goals, and a mission outside of her. When she calls, sometimes he answers. Sometimes he's busy. When she pulls away, he doesn't panic. He knows his worth, and he's willing to walk away if she crosses the line. And guess what? She ends up chasing him. She feels like she has to earn his attention, his time, and his commitment. She invests more because she doesn't feel like it's guaranteed. This is the dynamic that drives women's desire. When a man doesn't chase, it doesn't mean he's cold or distant. It means he's selective. He shows her love, but he doesn't drown her in it. He lets her feel that his life has meaning outside of the relationship. And paradoxically, that makes her want to be a bigger part of his life. The psychology behind this is simple. People value what they have to work for. If your attention is automatic, she takes it for granted. If your presence requires her respect and effort, she values it more. Women are naturally drawn to men who maintain their independence because it signals strength. It shows that the man doesn't need her. He chooses her. Men like Daniel think that chasing harder will secure the relationship. But chasing kills attraction because it flips the dynamic. She becomes the prize, and he becomes the pursuer. Men like Marcus understand that holding back and letting her come to him builds a cycle of respect and desire. So if you want her to chase you, stop trying to convince her of your value. Live it. Show it through your actions, your priorities, and your willingness to let go if she doesn't meet your standards. The less you chase, the more she invests. And when she invests, the relationship becomes stronger, deeper, and more balanced. Comfort makes you weak. In her eyes 5, comfort makes you weak in here he is. One of the biggest mistakes men make in relationships is getting too comfortable. At the beginning, most men put effort into how they dress, how they speak, how they lead. and even how they treat her. But once she's secured, many men relax to the point of laziness. They stop leading, stop setting boundaries, and stop doing the very things that attracted her in the first place. Over time, that comfort becomes weakness in her eyes. Here's what usually goes wrong. A man starts saying things like, "Oh, you know I love you, so I don't need to try as hard anymore." He stops, surprising her. He stops working on himself, and he starts giving her excuses instead of action. He spends more time on the couch than on his mission. When she challenges him, he backs down just to avoid conflict, telling her, "Whatever makes you happy." It sounds sweet, but in reality, it's weakness. Because deep down, she doesn't want a man who folds. She wants a man who stands firm. The wrong move is believing that once she's yours, you no longer have to earn respect. That mindset destroys attraction. Women don't fall for men who make them feel safe only at the start. They fall for men who continue to show strength throughout the relationship. So, what's the right way? It's not about being cold or distant. It's about never losing the qualities that made her respect you in the first place. Instead of saying, "Whatever you want," the right thing to tell her is, "I hear what you're saying, but this is where I stand." Instead of making excuses for neglecting yourself, you tell her, "I've got work to do. I'll see you later." Instead of over-explaining your choices, you let your actions speak. When you maintain your drive, your purpose, and your independence, you remind her why she was drawn to you. She sees that even in a relationship, you haven't become passive. You're still the man who sets the tone, leads with confidence, and refuses to become complacent. Comfort is dangerous because it tricks men into thinking love is unconditional. But attraction is conditional. It's based on respect, challenge, and leadership. The wrong approach makes her feel like she's carrying their relationship. The right approach makes her feel like she's following a man she can trust. A man who never stops growing. So, the lesson is simple. Don't get soft just because you've won her. Keep improving. Keep leading. Keep showing strength. Tell her things that reflect your standards and back them up with action. Because the moment you get too comfortable, she sees weakness. And when she sees weakness, respect and the power shift. When you stop caring, attraction fade, the power shift. When you stop caring, there comes a moment in every man's life where he realizes something powerful. The less he cares about controlling a woman, the more control he actually gains over the relationship. Sounds backwards, doesn't it? But it's true. The moment you stop obsessing over what she thinks, what she's doing, or whether she might leave, everything changes. That's when the power shifts. Here's why. Women can sense when a man is attached to them in a needy way. They can feel when his emotions rise and fall based on their mood or attention. And once she knows she has that kind of control over you, the respect begins to fade. You've given her the steering wheel and she's driving while you sit in the passenger seat. That's not attractive. It's exhausting. But when you stop caring in that desperate way, the dynamic flips. You no longer react to every little thing she does. You don't blow up when she pulls away. You don't chase when she ignores you. Instead, you stay grounded. You focus on yourself, your mission, your peace of mind. And when she sees that she cannot control you through withdrawal, drama, or tests, her respect for you skyrockets. Think about it. The man who panics when she doesn't text back is showing weakness. The man who shrugs, goes about his day, and keeps moving forward is showing strength. And strength is always attractive. This doesn't mean you stop caring about her as a person. It means you stop caring about her approval. You stop basing your self-worth on her reactions. The irony is that when you reach this level of detachment, She actually invests more. She starts chasing, because now she feels like she's something to prove. She wonders, what makes you so unbothered, so centered, so different from other men? That's the power shift. When you stop caring, you stop giving her the upper hand. You become the man who cannot be manipulated, cannot be controlled, and cannot be broken by a little silence or attitude. Instead of asking, does she still like me? You're living by the standard. If she doesn't respect me, I can walk away. And here's the part most men miss. When you stop caring about losing her, you become harder to lose. She clings tighter, she values you more, and she respects the strength you carry. Because in her mind, if you're not afraid to, why she fears losing? A man who can leave lose her. You must truly be a man worth keeping. 7. Why she fears losing. A man who can leave. Every woman knows deep down that the most dangerous man to fall is the one who can walk away. She might be attracted to charm, money, or looks at first. But what keeps her hooked long-term is the fear of losing a man who doesn't depend on her for validation. That fear isn't rooted in insecurity. It's rooted in respect. Here's why. When a man shows he can leave, he proves he's not controlled by her beauty, her attention, or her affection. He's there because he chooses to be, not because he needs her to survive. That difference makes him stand out from almost every other man she's met. Most men hand over their power early, making her the center of their universe, clinging desperately just to keep her. But the man who can walk away says, without words, I am complete with or without you. That is what unsettles her and excites her at the same time. Picture this. She argues, tests, or even pulls away, expecting you to chase like every other man. Instead, you remain calm. You don't beg, you don't explode, and you don't fall apart. You stay grounded, even willing to cut ties. If she crosses the line, that's when it hits her. She could actually lose you. And that thought terrifies her more than anything else. It's not about games. It's about value. When she feels that your presence is earned, not guaranteed, she respects you. She invests more. She becomes the one sending texts first, the one worrying about how you feel, the one trying to win back your attention. The fear of losing you becomes fuel for her desire. And here's the part that makes it so powerful. Women don't fear losing men they control. They fear losing men they admire. If she knows you'll fold, the moment she threatens to leave, she has no reason to value you. But if she knows you'll walk without hesitation, her behavior changes instantly. She watches her tone. She respects your boundaries. And she works harder to keep you around. Men often think being irreplaceable comes from giving her everything. In reality, it comes from showing that you can take everything away. That doesn't mean being cruel. It means standing so firmly in your worth that she knows you'll never settle for less than respect. That knowledge keeps you on her toes and keeps the attraction alive. So remember this. She doesn't fear losing men who need her. She fears losing the man who doesn't. The man who can leave at any moment, yet chooses to stay because she's earned it. That's the kind of man women chase, respect, and conclusion, fight to keep. At the end of the day, everything comes down to one principle. Women respect men who can walk away. If you've listened closely, you now understand why neediness kills attraction, why tests exist, and why the real power lies in your willingness to stand firm. A man who doesn't fear losing her will never be controlled by her. That's the type of man women chase, respect, and fight to keep. So don't just hear this message, live it. Value yourself first, and watch how every woman you meet values you.